everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week with a new video for you all. This week we are talking new sewing pattern releases. So for anyone who is new to our channel, every month we do a roundup of patterns that have been released into the indie sewing market. So for those that are new to us, there are about 40 or 50 patterns released every month, which is insane, by hundreds of different designers. So we do a roundup of all the patterns that have been released, and I do a little video to talk about a few of them that I really love. So we'll have a blog post down below that you can head over to, and that has all of the patterns that have been released this month, and I'm going to talk you through 6 of my favourite now. I'm also going to preface this by saying we are going to be at the Knitting and Stitching show this weekend, so anyone who is coming, please come and say hello, because we are bringing all the patterns with us. Seriously, there are a lot of patterns coming. And I've had to film this a few days early, which is annoying because I know for a fact that Closet Case Patterns is releasing something tomorrow, and I can't talk to you about it because it looks like it's going to be really good. So there might be a couple of patterns that slip through the net, but you know, what can you do? Right, so I am going to get cracking and talk to you about these patterns. So the first one I've got to talk to you about is the Darlow Pants from In the Folds. This comes in sizes 6 to 26 and is available on the online shop in PDF format. It's not very often, I have to say, that I see a pair of trousers and get quite excited by them. Anyone who has never used In the Folds patterns before, I would highly recommend them. The instructions on them are completely fantastic. In fact, I think they're one of the best I've ever used out of all the indie designers. I'm going to show you the pattern, the line drawing here, because I think this is the easiest way to see how interesting the pattern is for this. So looking at it, you can see there's a lot of seams going on. There are 2 variations. The first variation has got, I mean, a lot of seams. The general sort of silhouette of the trouser is peg leg. So this means that it's slightly looser around the around your thighs, and it kind of tapers in towards your ankle. It's got a classic fly. It's got patch pockets on one version and welt pockets on another version. The interesting thing about this is that I think the pattern piece, well, the pattern piece is going to look absolutely crazy. I'm assuming that there isn't a side seam down the outer side of them. There's just, yeah, it's just quite, they're just cool. Like, they're really interesting, and I love seeing something that you're not sure how it's going to come together. The other thing that I think that's really clever about them is that when you see them finish, they just look like quite normal trousers, but you'll have enjoyed the challenge of making these. So I think they're definitely for sort of a more an intermediate maker, I think, because trying to get the fit on these, I think you're going to need to make a toile. But I just think they're lovely. They're really interesting. I haven't seen anything like this before, and I think if you want a bit of a challenge, these could be a really lovely place to start. So the next pattern I'm going to talk to you about is the Aronia top from Itch to Stitch. This comes in sizes 00 to 20 and is available on our online shop. I included this because basically, who doesn't want a really nice cozy top in their life? So this has got a lovely kind of big funnel neck, kind of quite dramatic neck. It's got raglan sleeves, and then it's got this really nice kind of swooping hem feature on the front, which means basically you can eat a massive roast dinner and it's not going to get any tighter because the 2 flaps at the front are kind of loose. It's got pockets as well, so who doesn't love something with pockets? The other thing that's really nice about the raglan sleeve on this is I think there's a little dart at the top of the shoulder on the raglan sleeve, which is really lovely. This adds a tiny bit of shaping and always makes, I think, anything raglan just look that kind of, make sure the fit's really good on it. It's quite a simple make. I would say that you could whip this up in a few hours, and you could make it in a kind of lightweight jersey if you want it just as a top, but you could also make it in a sweatshirting if you want it as a proper jumper. So there are variants to make, kind of change this up. You could also have the sleeves in a different colour to the bodice. Yeah, the world is your oyster on this one. But I thought this was really nice, a nice simple cozy make, and who doesn't want a lovely cozy top at this time of year? Right, next pattern to talk to you about is the Vonda Wrap top and dress from the Half Moon Atelier. This comes in sizes 6 to 20 and is available on the online shop. I picked this pattern because I really love the shape of it. It's such a classic shape, and I think it's something that if you make, you'd be wearing this for seasons and seasons because it's never going to go out of style. So, key features of the pattern: it comes in kind of, there's a top version, there's a dress version, and then there's different sleeve variants as well. So it's quite a versatile pattern. You get quite a lot of bang for your buck with this one. It's got this really nice feature where basically it's got a kind of gathered, it's got a seam along the shoulder here, and then it's got gathering into this seam. This is so that you don't need a bust-tar underneath it. So this excess that is coming over the top of your shoulder is to encase your boobs, which is essential for all of us. So anyone who's got bigger boobs, obviously it varies, but you know, the boobs are taken into account on this. It's got a little wrap, and I think it's a real wrap. It's quite hard to see from this. Yeah, I think it is a real wrap. Yes, I think it is a real wrap. It isn't a fake wrap. The other thing, it's got a nice sweeping V-neck, and yeah, it's quite simple, but I just really liked it. And the other version, the top version of this, I thought was really nice, and you could, this would be such a versatile top. It's like a really lovely wrap blouse. You can make it in something kind of black and slinky and wear it on a night out, or you could make it in a really fun print and it'd be perfect for like the weekend. It's just, yeah, I thought it was a really nice pattern and something that I think you probably get quite a lot of wear out of. Yeah, so I'm going to go on to the next one now, which is the Chloe coat sewing pattern from Sew Over It. This comes in sizes 8 to 20, sorry, and isn't currently on the online shop, but it's coming in paper format. You can get it in PDF from the Sew Over It website. This has been around for a while from Sew Over It, but it has always been a class, and they have just released it finally as a pattern because I know a lot of people were gagging to get their hands on it. If you haven't made a coat before and you're up for the challenge of making a coat, this is a really nice place to start because it's quite simple construction. So the pattern features, there's sort of two variants of this. So there's a classic sort of just scoop neckline, no collar, zip up the front with patch pockets. So really simple in terms of construction. And there also comes with a variation to have this kind of big dramatic tie on the front, which I really love. I think it makes the first version is very classic, and this one has got a bit of a twist to it. And Sew Over It do really nice variants. So the second one, I like that big kind of wrap. It means you don't need to wear a scarf as well. Really nice. So it's quite simple. I think the pattern is lined, which is one of those things that people think is really complicated, but actually it's really not that hard to do. And the other thing is it hides a multitude of sins on the inside, so you put in the lining and no one can see everything underneath. The patch pockets, very easy to put on. Again, this in theory, this coat should not take you forever to do. My top tip though, if you are going to do a coat, is the interfacing on your coat is probably almost as important. It is actually as important as the fabric that you buy. So actually Sew Over It do a really fantastic, it's called tailoring interfacing, and I would highly recommend using that if you're going to make this coat, because that adds that lovely crispness that you get from a shop bought coat that you just won't get if you don't spend the money on interfacing. So that is my top tip. But yeah, this is a really good first coat if you want to make a coat. It's got some interest as well with this big tie, and yeah, I've seen loads and loads of people make it and it looks amazing. So the other thing you could do with this I like about it, sorry I'm getting, is that you could make this in a really thick wool and have it as a proper winter coat, but you could also make it in something much lighter weight, like a kind of a canvas, and it'd be a really nice coat for spring. So it's got quite a lot of, you know, it's got a lot of life in this pattern. Right, next pattern I've got to talk to you about is the Ellis Skirt from Cashmerette. This comes in sizes 12 to 28 and is available on the online shop. I picked this pattern for anyone who hasn't come across Cashmerette patterns. She specialises in curvy sewing. I think her patterns are really clever. She just, whoever her pattern cutter is a bit of a wizard. And she creates really lovely, interesting and kind of classic shapes, but with curvy sewing in mind. So most of the patterns, obviously not for this one, but most of the patterns come with different cup sizes as well. So you don't have to do, if you've got a larger bust, you don't have to do a full bust adjustment, which is, you know, saves quite a lot of time, and everyone who makes her patterns absolutely raves about them. So I put this pattern in because I thought this was a really classic shape. It is your absolute classic denim skirt, kind of denim, yeah, it is, it's a classic denim skirt. It's got all the features that you'd hope. It's got a fly front, it's got lots of top stitching. There are two variations, so you can either go for the slightly longer version, which sort of comes down to the knee, which has a little split up the front, or you can go for a kind of classic shorter, kind of mid thigh length. They've got pockets on the back. I mean, it is an involved make. So the thing that's really lovely about making something like this is you get to do all the kind of slightly challenging bits, like a fly, all the top stitching details, the belt loops, but you don't have the tricky fit of a trouser. So if you haven't made a pair of jeans before and you're thinking that you'd like to, this would be a really good place to start, because you'll have done a lot of the features on this skirt. I just think it's really clever. The other thing that I should say about this is that it comes with two pelvis options, which is so clever. So you can either get it cut for a pear shaped or an apple shape. So that is amazing. As someone who's pear shaped myself, I really love the concept that you could buy something that's actually ready to go for you. So yeah, I mean, I just think she's really nailing it, Cashmerette. Yeah, she's a clever lady. I think it's fantastic. So next pattern I have to talk to you about is the Barcelona Cape from How to Do Fashion. So this has been released as part of a range of patterns. I think she's released 4 in the last month. And I picked this one because I just thought it was quite cool and quite interesting and a little bit different. So this kind of, the features of the pattern are, it's quite an involved make. It's probably for an intermediate maker. It's got this sort of classic sort of tailored front with buttons down, button down the front. It's got little pockets, but it's also got this sort of dramatic kind of sleeve cape which goes all the way around the back, and I just think it's bloody cool, basically. Especially if you're loving vintage stuff, I think this is really, really interesting. I haven't seen anything like this, and I thought it was worth including it because it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? It's, in terms of the fit of this, you've got all your shaping down the front. You can see from the 2 big darts that go kind of end just below the bust. It's got shaping around here, so there's a seam that kind of goes at the top of the cape, which I think is to make sure that you can get movement. It does look like it's been kind of cleverly cut. I just thought this was really, really cool. I have realised that I haven't, so it comes in sizes small to large, and it is not available on the online shop. I think we'll have to check the kind of the sizing chart. I think, let's have a look. Oh, hang on, so it comes in sizes UK 6 to 20, sorry, So yes, comes in sizes 6 to 20. Yeah, I just thought this was a really lovely one, so it's a bit of fun. If anyone makes this, please will they let me know, because I'd love to see some finished ones of these made up. Right, I'm going to, I think this is the last one, maybe. So this is the Genie top from DG Patterns. I put this in because I thought it's a very simple make, but I think something that's really, really useful. So it looks actually quite similar to the Aronia top pattern, but this is a jersey pattern. It's a classic wrap. It's got a tie around the sort of waist, and it comes with different sleeve variations. Anyone who hasn't sewn with knit before and wants to, or has made one knit item and wants to go on to something else, I thought this was a really nice pattern to start with. It's very casual. I just love the tie, the kind of long tie at the side. I think that's really beautiful, and I think you could whip this up in a couple of hours. It's really, really sweet. So this comes in, let me just find the sizing, sorry, I should have got this already. So it comes in sizes 4 to 22. It's not available on the online shop. And the other thing about this is that you can make it in a knit or a woven. It says on the instructions. I would probably just start with the knit, because obviously woven is slightly trickier with fit, but yeah, I thought this was a really, really lovely and interesting pattern to kind of get your teeth stuck into. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that. We will pop links to, I'll pop a link to the blog post down below, and you can go and have a look at all the patterns that have been released. So we will be back soon with another video for you all. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.